I'm one of the targeted, most targeted person in Nepal. Anytime they can kill me, I know.
Everywhere there was flame, bright flame, because houses were burning and I was either going to be killed or going to be amputated.
The Human Rights Defenders provide added value at the centre in a number of ways. I mean, they are a gift for a new centre like ours. They provide us with distinctiveness and profile. There is no other university in the United Kingdom or elsewhere that has a programme like ours, and it sets us apart from the other centres and other programmes. No other centre tries to integrate frontline human rights defenders in all aspects of its work in the way that we do. The centre works in three main areas. We have a visiting fellowship scheme for human rights defenders at risk. We also have a teaching programme at undergraduate and postgraduate level, and linked to that we hope to develop a training scheme for human rights defenders, short courses and so on. And we've also got a research agenda. The biggest success we've had thus far in research is the launching of this journal, the Journal of Human Rights Practice, published by Oxford University Press, which is based at the centre. So the centre's work is orientated around human rights defenders and training a future generation of human rights defenders. And our hope is that all aspects of the work, the human rights defenders' work, the teaching and the research, will feed into one another so that the whole will be greater than the sum of its parts.
I'm a human rights lawyer plus journalist. I'm associated in a lawyers forum for human rights. Our main office is in Kathmandu, and we are providing legal support to the victims of human rights violations and poor people who do not have access to court. We provide legal support, legal counseling. Previously, I was editing a magazine that used to publish from Kathmandu, and we used to distribute in various parts of Nepal. In 2004, I was arrested by Royal Nepalese Army without any charge, any formal charges. The army was fully deployed at that time to suppress people's movement, basically Maoist movements also. And there were many civilian people kept inside the army barrack. Later I knew that I had written one article about human rights violation incident. Because of my editorial, 258 days I was kept inside the military detention. So after my release, I wrote this book just mentioning my experience, because I'm severely tortured person. Even I have so many scars even now. This is the picture of torture. It was happened when I was in custody. It was taken after my release, after 1 year back from the incident. You know, as a journalist, as a human rights defender, just I tried to speak. I tried to raise voices. You know, because of my activities, because of my journalistic things, because of my advocacy, I was victimized.
By definition, those people who come to us are human rights defenders at risk. There are people whose lives have been threatened, often in very tangible, real ways, or whose families' lives have been threatened and who need to escape.
In many ways, it's an eye-opener for the students to meet the human rights defenders. I think they realise how complicated real life is and how much more difficult human rights issues can be in practice than they appear on the pages of their textbook. So it's a real dose of reality for them.
The Human Rights Defenders Programme, basically, they bring defenders over from different parts of the world. So we've had people from Indonesia, Nepal, from Iraq, and they come to work in the centre with us, and so we learn from them more about what they've been through, and they can give us more of a sort of context on human rights defending and on everything that we've been learning.
I think particularly the relationship between the defenders and the students has been a very uplifting one in many ways to watch. And I think they've learned a great deal from the defenders.
it's a really valuable thing, because I think it's important that you don't just learn theory. You can sit in a classroom and just read and you can hear from people, but these people can contextualise everything for us, and they're friends of ours anyway, so we can sit and we can talk about it, and they can tell us all about what's happened to them, and sort of explain to us how we can get involved and the most important things. And it's just been an invaluable experience for me, really.
I was in Freetown, the capital city, where I was born, and then January 6th, I had this shooting. I was in the house with my family, and I had a bitter experience. I was in school, we had holiday, so I was in the city with my family. It was very late in the morning, around 3 a.m. when we had gunshots. When we came outside, we saw so many rebels. They were shooting and shouting, and they are going to kill us. And then I witnessed the killing of one of my neighbors, and I was very, very shocked at that particular moment. Since then, I knew things were not going to be okay. I'm working with war-affected children and their communities also. Basically, the main objective of the program is to help these children and reintegrate them back into the communities where they come from. Most of these kids are war-affected kids. They are either child soldiers, they took part in the war, or they witnessed, violation of their rights. Some of them are victims of being captured. Some of them were abducted, and some of them witnessed either burning or killing of their relatives or loved ones. When I go back to Sierra Leone, and I want to see how best I could integrate human rights into the work that I do back home, in the organization where I work, and how I'm going to use it, to influence decision makers, particularly traditional leaders in the communities that I work, in terms of human rights promotion, so that, there could be positive difference in their attitudes, in the way they treat women, and the way they treat children.
Here, I'm safe. Center for Applied Human Rights has provided a house, safe house for me, safe environment here, and good students. They are eager to know what is happening in the world, in the practical real life, how human rights defenders, they are facing problems. So it's a good time, really good time. You have rescued, human rights defenders from the battlefield.
I see these defenders as, if you like, agents for change, and I think they bring about change in a number of different arenas. The idea is that, having gained extra skills and knowledge, the defenders go home, and so I think they will be agents for change in their families, in their communities, in their organisations and networks in their home country.
It's horrible to see them leave, it's horrendous to see them leave, but we will stay friends, and we do stay in contact, and I'm still in contact with the other defenders that have returned to their countries. So I think it's important because we're building up a network around the world as well.
Whatever I learn here, I gain here, that will be implemented in the field.
I'm now positive of the work I'll be doing back home, and I know that I'm going to make a difference.
Now I have power